everybody, I'm getting ready to post a restorative yoga practice, and the key to restorative yoga practices actually involves the use of a lot of props, and those props allow you to relax into a pose, and being supported in those poses is really key to kind of cueing your nervous system to relax and to get the full benefit. First things first, in restorative yoga, you want to be nice and warm and comfortable. So, if you want to wear sweatpants or I'm actually pretty comfortable in leggings, but whatever you want to wear, you want it to kind of just be comfortable, free of zippers. When you're laying down, you don't want anything poking into you. And then you also want to be warm. So I always wear my cute fuzzy socks. Don't even care if I look like a dork with them pulled up. It's about being warm. Just a sweatshirt or anything that you want to keep you warm. And then setting the room temperature to something comfortable, or at least covering with a blanket so that you're nice and warm and relaxed. The other things you will need 2 blocks. If I'm going to place the link to the props I like to use best in the description. So 2 blocks. I really love these cork blocks that I got from Manduka, and you can get these on Amazon too. But they're a little heavier than a standard block, so they're sturdier. And then they also have a little weight so that you can use it as weight on your chest. You can use them in flows where you're maybe doing a little bit of resistance. So I love these blocks, but those blocks are a little bit pricey. So we also have the standard foam block. I don't know if you can see how abused my block has been, please pardon it, but my children have found it quite satisfying to poke with a pencil, or at one point they used it for teething. But these blocks, they're a little bit lighter weight, but they're a lot less expensive. And so those are perfectly acceptable. You just want 2 of them. And if you don't have blocks, that's fine. You can use 2 big hardbound books. Like, I kind of just tried to look and see, what's close to a block in terms of size. I don't have anything quite that thick, but the complete works of the Bronte sisters and War and Peace came close. And so you can use these as substitutes for blocks. Textbooks are great if you have any old pharmacy textbooks, because I know a lot of you are pharmacists. And then the next thing that you're going to want, you need a set of blankets, if you will. So, and I have just one of these kind of traditional, what you find in a yoga studio. Your blanket can be rolled. So we have a half fold here. You can do quarter fold, and then 8 fold either lengthwise or crosswise. And you can use this once it's folded to make a blanket roll. If you go with the long 8thwise fold, you can make a neck roll, and you just, size that to fit yourself. And then there's a lot of times we'll just use the blanket. The other thing that you can do with blankets, and the other blanket I have here is it's a dinosaur blanket from the Field Museum. I take my kids things sometimes. So you can also make a bolster out of 2 blankets. So you just do 2 half-fold blankets, and you kind of roll them onto themselves. And if you want a bigger bolster, so see, now you've got a bolster. If you want a bigger bolster, you use 3. It's also nice to have a blanket, to lay on your mat if you want, and at least a blanket to cover over with. So if you don't have a bolster, you're going to want probably, we'll get to that because there's another substitute for bolster. But if you're using blankets as a bolster, you need 2 to make a bolster. and then you probably want another one to cover over with. So blankets are key. So I've talked about a bolster. A bolster or bolster substitute is also kind of a critical prop. This is probably one of the least expensive bolsters you can buy. And I'll put the description on. I'm trying to remember what brand it is. It doesn't really matter. Oh, here it is, Hug Mother. So there are bolsters I like better that I've tried. This is the one I bought. It's a little bit wider than what I want, but again, it was pretty affordable. So if you don't have a bolster, again, you can create one out of your blankets. You can also use large bed pillows or couch cushions. Couch cushions to me don't work quite as well because you want the width to be where you can open up over it. But a bed pillow is great. And for me, if I were going to do this, I would stack two because mine have quite a bit of squish. So they're going to compress when I lay on them. And you can just play around with what works or what feels right to you. So blocks, two or a substitute, a bolster or a substitute, and blankets. And those are necessary. You may want to have like a smaller pillow to put under your head. This is one my daughter got me once for Mother's Day. You might want an actual neck pillow if you don't want to create one out of a blanket. You may want one of those eye masks. But to me, I've never used one of those. I just dim the lights in my room. I like to use for my lighting when I do Restore Yoga, I have like maybe 4 of these little, flickery electric candles. And then I have 2 Himalayan salt lamps, although one is fine. But just something with like a nice warm dim lighting. And then I've never really needed an eye pillow. Another thing you may want, and it comes in handy to me, is just a decent sized bath towel. So there are some poses, and you can use these as substitutes for blankets too, but there are some poses where we do a wrap, to hold our legs in place. And I find that the towel is easier to maneuver and manipulate than another blanket. So a towel or 2. And then the last thing, 2 more things. You may want a strap. I haven't used a strap a ton in restorative yoga, but if you want one, that's a choice as well. And then the last thing that you may want are just essential oils that you find relaxing. So to do a little bit of aromatherapy while you're practicing. So I think the 2 most relaxing ones, this is lavender, so you can just put a couple drops on your hands and inhale it before you begin to practice, and even a couple times during your practice. And it just does, it's just like in massage where they let you choose an oil that you like. Just choose one you like. I've got lavender and Roman chamomile, which are both pretty relaxing. And then if you want to play soft music, I'm actually probably going to create a Spotify list. I can't put music in general on YouTube because it's licensed, but you can play that in the background. So yeah, that's it. Once I post it, I'll post this one first. I'll recommend you watch this first. And I'll post links in the description box to the props that I have or that I like. And that is all, my friends. So I'll see you on your mat soon for restorative yoga. Have a great day.